Hello, my friends. It must be Thursday. It must be 8-ish over on the East Coast. Makes it 7:05 here in Texas, America. This is our call-in show. So thanks for joining me. If you are new to the program, make sure you are subscribed. If you guys want to make sure that you can make the call in, if you want to just be a listener, knock yourself out. But if you want to call in, you got to either join us over. I guess you got to join us at the other one here. Let me hit the other button. There's a different button. There we go. Rumble. I can't make anybody access us on Rumble. You can be a subscriber over on X. You can be a subscriber over on YouTube. They call it channel member, and you can do the same thing over on Locals. We're going to get breaking in right away with our first call of the evening. So this is your show. You guys get to say whatever it is you want, talk about whatever you're into, and hopefully you'll carry the show a little bit today because I'm freaking exhausted, which I will tell you more in a minute. Caller number one, you're on the line. Tell me who you are and where you are.
Take a lucky guess.
I think that this is Tracy in Iowa.
You know a Tracy with a deep voice?
Yeah. Don't you?
No.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm like a Caucasian James Earl Jones.
By the way, you have ruined the betting odds. The bet by Crypto Rick was there would be a tack penis call right off the bat, and you lived up to it. You did it.
I tend to do that just so I can talk to you about stuff and then listen to the other people, because there's some actually like really funny stuff, and then to make sure that Renzo can call in too.
That's fair.
You always have to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you got going on, man?
My initial comment was I wanted to talk about that one meme that you put up of Kash Patel, and it was perfect. It was relating to Lord of the Rings, back when Frodo had the Ring of Power. He spent the entire time trying to get to the Mountain of Doom and the Ring of Power, carrying it the entire time. It was all super heavy, and he was just trying to toss it in the fiery pit and try and destroy it so that they could defeat the greatest evil anybody ever knew. And a lot of people got together and made an effort, to move things along for him, take out, numerous obstacles that were in the way. And there was even a point where the whole effort was disrupted completely, and it ended up just being him and one other guy that could do it. And then, then you get some Smeagol character along the lines that ended up helping out. But basically, it was a perfect analogy for what Kash Patel and Dan Bongino have done. There was the Suspendables who came forward at the request of these people, came forward and actually risk themselves to put their faces and their names out there, right? Get listed in all kinds of congressional, testimony and all this other stuff. And I'm sorry, man, I got to call you back.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. You got it. There he goes. An abbreviated tack penis call. I don't know what to make of that. I hope he's okay. Or maybe his turtle snuck out on him. That means the line's open. For those of you who are trying to beat him to the punch, you can try back again. Mr. TACPNES, tack P-NES, tack penis, had to jump off the line. What do you guys think was going on there? I don't know either. I'm sure he'll call back and tell me. All right, caller number 2, you are on the line. Tell me who you are and where you are, please.
It's Owen in Delaware.
Hey, Owen. How are you doing, bud?
Good. That was funny. He beat me to it. That's pretty funny.
He did beat you to it.
I was ringing the damn whatever.
Yeah, you guys you guys hit the buzzer almost at the same time, but his appeared first on my end.
Okay.
Let me just start with a big thank you for sending a little care package along. I haven't shot it yet, but it's on my list of things to do maybe this weekend. Some of it.
Okay. Yeah, the extra ones, the 300 was that's the stuff I think is pretty good for expanding and stuff. It's got the palmer tips and that kind of jazz. It's good stuff.
All right. So for people to understand what we're talking about here, let's see. There we go.
Try to be obfuscating or try to be obvious?
What's that? Are we
Should I be
obfuscating?
obfuscating or should I be that obvious?
No, we're obvious. So Owen sent me some stuff to the P.O. box. I'll just put it up on the screen right now. If you're so inclined to send me something, I will receive it, whether I like it or not, because that's how the P.O. box works. It's 9073 West State Highway 29, Suite 110, Box 509. You got to put all those things on there. Owen didn't, but we still got to figure it out in Liberty Hill, Texas. And he sent me some ammo to go check out on my new 6 ARC, which I have not played with nearly enough. And so I intend to figure out what kind of ammo it likes. I've got, I think, did you send me 4 different weights? And I've got another 2 weights at my house as well. I got a handful of different weights. We'll find out what it likes to eat. Apparently, it was sighted in. It was a sub 1/3 MOA gun at 100 yards with just regular Hornady black. So we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see if something a little bit nicer tightens up even.
I've got, well, you don't probably want reloads necessarily, but I've got different weights. That's why I bought reloads, but bullets are the same weights too. Just so, not all those weights, like maybe 3 of them, the heavier ones. So I tend to buy heavier bullets usually. But I was having fun with that. I'm going to make some of that eventually. I haven't been out to like went over last weekend. Like I sent out pictures on Locals as I went out last weekend, did some hole punching. It's kind of fun. My buddies went to the Valor Ridge guys thing, and so they actually had the training and they bought the targets, and so they had, here's the sequence, here's the drill, and you practice your 100 yards to 0, so you practice your hole, which is what that guy was saying on Sunday. You just got to practice. You put on all your kit, which I may or may not have a bunch of, and run around and make sure it all works. And you got the shoulder. I have to put a riser on my scope because it's too low. It's too close to the. I can't get that with the cheek weld and everything. I can't get up on there right. So I put that on yesterday, and it was also not level. I don't know how it got unlevel, but Sig Sauer mount. I don't know, man. It's like canted by 10 degrees. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, you got to try.
It works for close stuff.
I'm telling you what, going to the range with your equipment, taking your weapon systems out there, you'll find out that you didn't tighten down a scope as tight as you should have, or you'll find out that there's a loose mount, or you'll find out that something's jamming up, or a bad magazine is not locking back, or all the other things. The only way to find some of the stuff out, you can get a lot out of it with dry fire, but shoot, man, sometimes you got to just put it out there and see what does and what doesn't work.
Yep.
Got to.
I mean, I did okay. I got it on there. I would hit a chest size silhouette. We're shooting at something smaller. It's maybe about the 8-inch bull, but it's fun. It's fun. You got to learn the holdovers too. That's another thing really big, because if you don't know that, you don't really change. Well, I have 2. I have a red dot and I do a side mount 45 red dot, so I can crank it over and do the red dot for close, and I switch back to the other stuff for further away. So that's how I do that.
Have you ever done have you ever put a red dot on top of your scope instead of on the 45?
I don't. Yeah, I might do that now because of the way everybody wants to have everybody real upright and not really a cheek weld when they're doing this CQB and all that kind of host. I like it on the side because I don't have to break my cheek weld. I have it just so I just kind of roll it back and forth. But I might try. I've done it both ways. I have another scope that has it on there. It was a Burris. I forget what it was. It had a Burris red dot on top. To me, it was just like so high up there when I first started doing it.
I remember what that was. Yeah, honestly, there's certain applications where having it up high like that. I have it on my Geisley that I think is probably my most accurate gas gun, or other than the 6 ARC. And I'm a big fan of having it up high because with NVGs, it basically everything is old, becomes new again. Everything is new is something that we did previously. And what it turns out is putting the red dot like an RMR up on top of an optical scope. It's almost exactly like what people were doing early GWAT with the ACOG and mounting like a Doctor on top. It's almost the same damn thing.
On top of it, yeah.
And so that's the nice high riser. It's what people have gone to with a lot of these aim points where they've tried to pump it up real high and they want like a 1.93 inch lift. And all of that stuff ends up doing exactly what the old ACOG setup did, and it was really good. And one of my favorite gun setups right now is it's actually not an RMR, it's a Holosun, but it's a Holosun sitting on top of a 330 ACOG. It's freaking awesome. It's
in the old ACOGs, they actually had the kind of iron sight facsimile. They had like a plastic iron sight.
Yeah, they had something poking up on the back end of it. It depends on what ACOG you had. They had a couple different models. I never liked the 4 to 32, which is what the Marine Corps adopted. The Army had for a long time. The 3 by 30 has always been my favorite because it's got a lot more eye relief and it's a lot more forgiving when it comes, and it still has all the into 200 yards, you're still getting everything you need to for magnification, and you've got a nice clean piece of glass. You could do 2 eyes open. Interestingly enough, my boss was an HRT guy. He was a Ranger Battalion officer on Operation Red Wing when they went to go get Marcus Luttrell, and then he got out of the Army and he was in obviously like the Ranger Bat, so he was part of the Special Operations part of the Ranger Battalion thing. ends up in the FBI, goes to HRT. He's there for like 9.5 years. And he brought his HRT gun, which he got to keep with him when he was our supervisor. And he was running an 11.5-inch piston from Adams Arms. And he was running that 3 to 30 ACOG, exactly like I have with an RMR up on top of it. And they were both zeroed at 50 and, obviously out to 200 as well. Super flexible.
Way up and 200 way down.
Mm-hmm. Super flexible, super capable.
Yeah, we did 100 because that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. People argue about zeros.
There's a big argument, I think, for
Long
the 50, 200.
200 yard zero.
You know what? Yeah. I've shot stuff at 200 with an AR plenty of times, and being able to do it is good. And you're an inch. You got an inch difference of offset that's still climbing when you're at from between 50 and 100. So who gives a shit? I mean, 1 inch is not going to make a difference for almost any shot you take.
No. It's just it's like the training. Whoever's training you will give you their idea. This is like I've seen ones that are 37-yard zero because a 37 and a 300 or something like that.
Freaking
there's some other stuff. He gets kind of wonky.
Yep.
I mean, my 300 blackouts is cited for 10 yards because that's what I'm going to be using it at, 10 yards or under. It's like running around the house. I don't have more than 10 yards to worry about. I've got a laser on it too, but I got a laser, the big old laser. You heard of a laser called a bull dot?
Okay. Where's your 10-yard zero on your 300 on your 300 blackout? If you're zeroed at 10, where does it hit at 50? It's got to be within an inch or two, right?
I didn't even shoot that far. Yeah, it's pretty close. I haven't shot it that far, actually, to be honest. That's just for bumps in the night. If I switch to further stuff, I have other things for that.
So I did a zero.
I went and measured the distance from my front door to my back door, and that's what I do zero that.
If it's an application gun, then that's what it is. I zeroed mine at 50, and honestly, the difference between 10, 50, and 100 is less than an inch north-south.
Yeah.
So, like, who cares?
Okay.
you're probably. Right. I think you're going to find.
A couple of them in there. You want to be.
You're going to find you're going to find your 10-yard zero is perfectly adequate for doing what you need to do at 50 as well, and probably shoot to 100.
Actually, I take it back. No, I think I have the optic at 25 and the laser at 10 because it's the bull dot laser. It's not a dot. It's like a column. It's like a splotch. It's like a big circle. The closer you are, the bigger the circle gets.
I got you.
It's really easy to find. And you can hip shoot that from, that's why I do for 10. I think I have the optic for 25. My range, the indoor range I shoot it at is 25. So I think I set it for 25, nothing for 7. But that thing I'll be using is you don't want to do more than one anyway. People don't realize this. Being a good bullseye shooter is not going to help you a lot necessarily unless you hit a vital right the first time. Otherwise, you want to put a couple, 2, 3, and spread the love around so that it actually has potential to do better, have better effect.
That is exactly what got me in trouble when I was shooting in New Mexico and ended up in congressional testimony. The freaking clown next to me, who's a super nice guy, he was a great shooter. He was shooting maybe a dime-sized group at 7 yards on a reaction drill from low ready. And so it was like, the buzzer goes off and the timer goes off, and then you're supposed to pop up from low ready and drop 3 rounds in, center of mass. And he was shooting like a dime-sized group, and I was probably shooting a baseball or a tennis ball sized group. But my shots were like in a third of the amount of time that he was taking to take his shots. And it's like, dude, who cares? What are you doing? Like you're trying to put rounds in something that's 7 yards away from you, that's basically on top of you. And so anyway, when he was doing his shots so slowly that on his third shot on his second or third round, I just took my rifle and I took it up to ready, and I fired 1 round outside of the target to screw up his perfect little group. And obviously he heard it because it was simultaneous to his. So he was like bang, bang, and then he was like ba-dow, like 2 shots at once. And of course, then he's got a dot outside of his target. Funny. Looks like he missed, and he just gave me a dirty look. And they wrote that up that I shot at somebody's head. In the congressional testimony, the claim was that I shot at a firearms instructor's head. So, gave him a telephone.
At his head?
That was the claim.
Oh my goodness!
That's how perverted it got from the range in New Mexico to the executive offices up in Washington D.C. If that tells you anything.
It's a really bad game of telephone. It doesn't even work.
Yeah, no, it's
I'm not
totally
surprised.
effective.
I mean, these are the guys who do some pretty silly things. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it's.
I've had those guys with muzzle brakes. You line up and you're shooting at all at once, and the muzzle brake guy, you're like, how do I be not the guy to the left or the right of this guy? I always like an extra guy down because he's like in my ear. I'll just wait till they're done. Especially a 308 with a muzzle brake. A 60-inch 308 with a muzzle brake is like, F you, F you, F you, F you. Like,
no, you're exactly right.
I might get one just to mess with the guy.
No, just to refuse to shoot with people.
I put a 20th.
You just don't shoot with people that are not.
No, you got to do that.
It's suppressors.
You get some of that stress.
Or I'm not hanging out with you.
I wish. Maybe that'll come along someday. Right now, we're not allowed here. Sucks. But I put some linear comps on there pretty good.
I had linear comps.
Linear comps on the 300 blackout that help.
Yeah, and I don't hate it. I had a bunch of those. I've got so many muzzle devices in a box because everything now I have is suppressor friendly. So
Right.
I've adopted the posture that if you're not shooting quieter, then you're probably a jerk if you live in Texas, because you can. Why aren't you? Why aren't you? What's wrong with you in this state, huh?
Yeah, the Spikes Tactical makes a great one called the Barking Spider. I love those. I got them in all kinds of. I got them in 9. Actually, it's actually interesting. 0.35, 3.56, whatever it is, and I got 30 cal, and I got a 22 cal of those. But they're really fun to because they don't have the. It takes away a lot of the flash and stuff, but it also the impulse is totally different.
Mm-hmm.
That helps a lot. And it helps the 300 blackout. If you don't have a suppressor, it helps your subs cycle better. That's a whole. That was I used to call that my malfunction simulator, because I built the 300 blackout when it first came out, like the very first came out.
Mm-hmm.
I had no factory ammo, all hand-loaded ammo. You know, I built it myself at ARs, 5.56 brass and all that kind of jazz. And I was having problems getting all the work right. So I finally had to drill out the gas port, and then it worked just fine after that. So there's a whole, it was fun. It was good practice. So I had, malfunction clear. I got really good at it.
Yeah. As an instructor I used to have said, that's good effing training. Huh? They like that.
Yeah. Fun stuff. All right. Well, I'll let you go. Hope you get that and enjoy that. And
I will bring it. I got some GoPro style stuff, so I'll take some videos and I will share them, and they will be posted on Locals. So I appreciate you feeding my interesting habits, and I'll report back.
One thing I would say, I had to do it without the number for the PO box, because UPS is a dick about that stuff.
Oh, I get it. That's fair. It worked out anyway.
They don't like that particular thing at the PO. That's why the lady who shipped it for me, which is my FFL, who shipped it to. That's who the name on that box and the receipt and everything was.
Got it.
And they had to ship it to their account, and it had to be like to the print. So I'm glad they found it. That's what I'm worried about. That's why I kept bugging you. Because I'm like, here's the number. I don't know.
Yeah,
because I don't know how picky they are.
They're super cool at my little thing. They know me by sight when I walk in. They go, hey, what's up, Kyle? Like, how's your show going?
Okay.
They're super nice people. So yeah, we have really good people that handle the PO box. Very cool. All right, brother.
We can play that. No number game then.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you for the gift. I hope you have a great night, and we'll talk again soon.
You too. Yep. Later.
All right, on. There we go. All right. Look at this guy. Look at this dude. Caller number 1.
Yeah,
what are you doing? You ditched me.
No, man. Somebody, I was on a video call with somebody important, and they were just like playing with the camera. I'm thinking, oh crap, based on I had them muted and everything, but based on their facial expressions, I'm like, something's really wrong. What's going on here? And they kept trying to like wave at the camera and everything. So I'm like, oh, this is an emergency or something. And I get off, and of course it's not. But anyway. And so my analogy was super distracted.
Tac Penis is coming back in full steam. No intro, no hey, just rolling, just coming in hot.
Yeah, because you can dock my time. It's okay. Like I deserve it. It's fine.
All right, we're gonna dock your time. I thought your analogy was actually pretty nice. I think that was a pretty solid little what do you call that? I think that was a well explained piece, and you didn't see it, but I actually put the picture up for people to see it. This was the meme. The meme is the Ring of Power equals the FBI. The Suspendable said, cast into the fire, destroy it, and Kash Patel said no because he's got a plane.
And you know what? Meme. I think he's even worse than Isildur, because Isildur was just a dude that freaking suddenly got the ring, right? It's not like he knew the whole the risk and the danger was. He just knew, hey, this is something super powerful. And then, of course, the ring influenced him. But he didn't have it for a long time. He didn't have like a whole horde of legendary people warning him how dangerous this thing is and then going on a quest to destroy this dangerous thing. No. So in my opinion, Kash did exactly like Isildur, but he's almost like Frodo, but Frodo doesn't suck at life. Kash sucks at life completely. But he portrayed himself as if somebody was going to do the right thing, said he was going to do the right thing, like risk it all, and do absolutely everything that we hoped he would, was going to shut down the FBI headquarters day one, was going to get rid of all the rot, all the horrible people. And in the end, he didn't do it. He turned around and put the ring back on. So he he pretended he was Frodo. He pretended he was like this really good guy. And there's a lot of other people like the Fellowship of the Ring that helped him to get into that position, right? And promoted him and everything. And he just simply decided, you know what? Screw this. I want this ring. It's freaking sweet. I can go invisible. I can do all this awesome crap. I could fly around at taxpayer expense. I could fly my moderately attractive girlfriend who has no, obvious attraction to me around wherever I want. I can even at taxpayer expense, put a security detail on her, right? Because she's super special now because, I'm awesome. I've got the freaking ring of power, right? In my opinion, man, Isildur it's kind of like, okay, I can see him as that, but I really do see him as Frodo and like the doppelganger Frodo. It's not even like the good Frodo. No, he was a douchebag pretending he was Frodo.
This is probably one of the nerdiest calls that we've had on since we've started this call-in show, and we're on call-in show number 51. So, Owen said, from gun nerd stuff, talking about specifics, calibers, and weights of bullets, to the Lord of the Rings, we're special kinds of nerds. This is a weird kind of audience. Our audience is probably like me. We got some different tastes. We don't have to apologize for it, but yeah, I think you're spot on.
I can mix it up too.
Mix it up
because I'm betting if they had cast with Mithril a 50 BMG round, and we're talking from the elven lords and everything like that. If they straight up, the same people that cast the rings, right? 10 rings of power that they gave to men. If they were to cast a 50 BMG round and then fire that sucker at Sauron, dude, they could have taken him out like immediately. They wouldn't have needed anything else, man. They wouldn't have had to have this big old war, everything. No, 50 BMG round would work. So I'm bringing it back full circle from gun talk and nerd talk.
That was nerdy gun talk right there. Oh boy. Well done. What else is going on? People want a turtle update. I just keep seeing the chat scroll through. They said they need turtle talk. It is necessary and mandatory. So.
Syrup's definitely growing. Yeah, syrup's definitely growing.
How much can a turtle grow in a week or two? Like, what are we talking? Like, it's millimeters.
It's hard to notice, but yeah, it'll be probably millimeters.
Do you weigh him in grams? What does he weigh?
No, I don't weigh him just because he's still so tiny. Not really notice anything. But just look at the circumference of its shell, and you're able to see, if you see him every day like I do, you're able to notice like some different variations of the texture of his shell. It used to be like super pointy in all kinds of spots, but it started to round out on some sections on the rim of his shell. But the rest of his, the dome part of his shell is still super ridged, so he still looks badass.
Okay.
And now, when I soak his food pellets, I soak them in water so they blimp up, and it makes it easier for him to eat. That's how you're supposed to feed them. And I'll straight up nudge them around with my finger and everything, and Syrup watches as I do it, and he just nails the pellet. He misses my finger on purpose. So Syrup loves me.
Okay. Well, that's good news. It's always nice to have somebody love you, even if it's just a tiny little baby snapping turtle that looks kind of like a poop. It does kind of look like a poop.
It does not look like a dude.
I'm just saying, on the floor in the dark, like your turtle would pass for a poop in my house. For sure.
Man, you've got some weird turds then. I've got child turds.
I like to go through the Costco, and I like to weird out like ladies that are walking through the toilet paper aisle, and I ask my kids questions that I know will elicit funny responses, And so I'll have these like funny, comical out loud conversations. And I'll be like, how many things of toilet paper do we need, girls? And they'll be like, 2. And I'm like, 2? That's 60 rolls of toilet paper. Do we really need that many? And they go, yeah. I go, we got a lot of butts in this house, don't we? And then you see these ladies going like, what in the world? I have weird dad conversations in public just because it amuses me. And I know it makes certain people uncomfortable that don't have a bunch of little kids that think that's funny. But yeah, we got a bunch of butts.
We'll always remember that.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope one day they do the same thing. Yeah. I'm sure my dad asked me weird questions.
That'll be hilarious and funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no kidding. This show today, man, was a really good one, by the way. Having Steve Baker on and just talking about like basically how the FBI, which is supposed to be the world-renowned super, agency that can investigate anything and everything and always find the perp, somehow cannot find a guy that gave away enough details that they could have found him in, within a week, I suspect honestly that they did find him. They're just being very quiet about it, but we all know that they are not that retarded on
Yes.
purpose.
Yes.
They can be that retarded, but even on accident, they are not that retarded.
I agree.
They've got enough stuff and enough people with enough brains to put together and form, some cognitive individuals who can investigate, that they could have already found this guy and already did. And then Dan Bongino, the guy who, told us for the longest time, like, you can't trust the FBI. They're lying about this. And he's pointing out legitimate stuff too. Like, hey, this needs to be questioned. What the heck's going on? And then he gets in there and he's like, no, this Ring of Power looks pretty awesome, Cash. You should keep it.
Yeah, by the way, I'm going to put on my Mordor cheerleader outfit, and I'm going to run pom-poms for this group here. It's very disappointing when they did that. Well, I appreciate that you enjoyed the show this morning. It was kind of a last-minute thing to see if I could get Steve Baker on, and you have no idea the fun of stress that I have of doing a one-man moving target call-in when I'm going to have someone pop on the program. It's actually like a really cool burden to have. I'm like, oh, I hope everything works out okay. I called him while Dan Bongino clip was going. Nobody noted any different. I was talking in the background and he's like, what are you doing? Like, why is it so loud? And I'm like, oh, I'm bringing you on. And then I'm going to bring you on live in a second here, but I got a video playing so that you can hear too. So anyway, it's fun. It's a fun challenge. I don't do it very often, but sometimes I like to challenge myself with an interesting live piece. So there you go. So we did.
You did a good job, man.
Well, I'm glad that was fun. Yeah. I actually got a 1-minute synopsis of my argument against government, which I will play as soon as we drop you off the line here. You can listen to it as well. But I'll give you a final thought and then we'll jump off and see how long this thing goes tonight.
Final thought. I'm still just, I'm praying for you every day. I remember you and the crap that you have to deal with. And it's because evil people suck at life that you have to deal with this. So nobody should have to deal with that. And I don't know if there's any updates you can give, but it would just be, something we're all interested in because we actually care that you exist. So.
Yeah, well, all right. So quick update on, you're talking about the lawsuit and some of the other stuff that have been challenges. I guess everybody's got challenges. So if not me, then who? It would be something else if it wasn't that. We are working through a motion to dismiss and going to make our argument in front of the court soon. So the filing will speak for itself. But I've got attorneys who I think really wanted to be involved in this case. And they're not cheap and they're not free. But I think that they made a pretty aggressive push to let me know that they wanted to do this, and it's way below what their rates normally are, but they're solid. They understand the problem. They understand what's at stake. So that's kind of cool too. Nice to have people that have
that's awesome
buy-in for what you're doing. And it doesn't mean I'm winging it on my own and trying to use chat GPT and do some half-ass version. So, yeah. So that's the story. It's ongoing. We'll see. Our filings are due November 4th, so I'll keep people updated when it goes, and I'll probably share what the filing says live so you guys can read it.
Awesome. Sounds good, brother.
All right, bud. Thanks so much. I'm going to switch over and play a quick 1-minute argument from this morning for folks. So I'll drop you off the line right here.
Okay.
And there he goes, the Tac Penis, father of Syrup the turtle, which is funny. Okay, I'm going to play this for you guys. This is an argument I condensed down, basically my argument of what the Republican side should have been doing with the shutdown and why I think we're screwed because of it, but I don't mean it in a nasty way. I just mean, wouldn't it be nice if conservatives actually acted conservative? It's 60 seconds. We're seeing Republicans take an opportunity, an absolutely golden opportunity to do the conservative thing, to do the thing that we believe Republicans are supposed to do, which is work for smaller government, and they're doing the exact opposite. The party that seems to claim that they have the universal authority to talk about patriotism and to understand what the constitutional oath actually means should remember that the founders of this country did not believe, and specifically James Madison, as brought up yesterday, did not believe that charity was part of the legislative duty of the government. We can all agree that we should take care of our neighbors and that Christian charity is an integral part of Western society, and it always has been. Wouldn't it be nice if the people in power realize that they cannot legislate morality, they cannot legislate religion, and then they keep telling us there's a separation of church and state? So how about you stop forcing charity that I don't want to pay and allow me to decide how to do it on my own? You don't even have to be the party of real conservative values. You could just be the party of freedom and say that the best freedom is less taxation so that we can decide more freely what to do with our money, to include helping our neighbors who are down on their luck. That was the argument this morning, condensed down into 60 seconds, which I thought was kind of decent. That's what I wanted to say, and that's what I actually said, so I feel good about that. Caller number 3, you're on the line. Tell me who you are and where you are. Thanks for listening.
Well, hello, my friend.
Oh, there he is. How are we doing, Chaos?
I'm doing well. Dallas, Fort Worth, Locals, Rumble, YouTube.
All the places.
Wow, what a week.
What's your week had?
Well, I have it at just above gay enough for me to pay attention and just below fake enough for me to care.
Yeah, that checks. That's about right.
It's the thing that I've been seeing here, the majority of the day is, thank goodness Cash is in office, because now that he's the director, we have this gigantic breakthrough on the NBA and a bunch of, ridiculousness that's happening in New York. And basically anybody who has been paying attention to anything Kyle Seraphin has to say knows that, man, don't these investigations take years?
Yes, they do. That wasn't him.
Haven't they been only there for a couple months?
Yep. Ain't that something? You see right through it. The people who care to see will see. Those who have eyes. Those who don't, you can share them no matter what.
The biggest thing for me, I think, is that it doesn't take a lot of brain power. It's anybody who has been in any way, shape, or form involved in anything that has to do with the government, including something as simple as standing in the line of the DMV to get your license renewed, or at the tax office to get your registration updated, knows that it takes way longer than it should.
Yep.
So why would this be any different?
That's right. No, you're right. When you're right on that one. It's frustrating because there's plenty of people that are really, really happy to cheerlead. And I think that goes along with that term I came up with the other day, whether it's a good term or not, but digital discipleship. It's like, this person represents me, so when they succeed, I succeed. There's a lot of that. Those are the same people who say, like, whatever MAGA is whatever Donald Trump's opinion is today. So Argentinian beef equals America first because Donald Trump said so. That's just not principled. And I don't know, it's tiring to me because sometimes these guys are right and sometimes they're wrong. That's,
I can kind of get behind that. There were a couple of points that a few different people made that I think kind of in summation make sense. Yours being one that I took into consideration. There was somebody else also made the point that it would bring beef down lower in terms of the immediate while trying to work on things in the regulatory, which in terms of bureaucracy, that kind of makes sense. Somebody else made a point that beef is on the rise, even though the prices are higher. So that kind of negates that point. And then somebody else made the point that it's more so the messaging as it was delivered versus the way that it's being. I get America first. To what degree can we up our production of beef if we have a reduction as a result of regulation and also some environmental things? I think the screw fly is something that caused some culling over the last 2 years, and so there's like so I'm looking at it, I'm going, okay, yeah, there's some stuff here, there's some other stuff. I don't like it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there's not a short-term, long-term that can kind of play out if done properly. But then again, this is the government, and the government is very famous for doing everything terribly, including when it's the only thing that the government can do.
Yeah, I'm seeing folks that are commenting from over on X, and I've seen the same thing. And as I understand it from some of my buddies, that's why they ended up selling south of the border, was because there was a processing bottleneck, that the U.S. meat processors, there's only so many of them, and there's not a ton. And so it's heavily regulated, and it slows down. And this is a government sort of problem created by that. It's not that ranchers don't have it, but they have to actually wait longer, which means it costs them more money to continue raising, because every year that the animal's alive is another year they got to support it, and they got to maintain it, they got to keep it healthy, and so on and so forth. There's more risk of it possibly dying or getting sick or something else. So a lot of this stuff, I mean, are we not in the middle of a freaking government shutdown right now? Is there not an opportunity to just say, well, we're not going to fund these things? So
I haven't noticed.
Inspection. Yeah, nobody's noticed. Why don't we see people in government take advantage of this golden opportunity to be the party that Reagan kind of claimed that it was going to be, and have less government? It just seems like a no-brainer to me. And yet you've got freaking so-called conservatives out there crying for EBT and making sure that we turn on the government spigot so we can pay people who are on subsidized food and stuff like that. And it's the exact opposite of conservatism. So that's why I think rhinos, what we're seeing are real Republicans. The so-called rhinos are the real Republicans. We're the fake ones. If I was a Republican, I'd be a fake rhino. I'd be a rhino.
Well, that was actually one of the points that I wanted to make. I do want to touch back real quick. The one thing that I did hear that I don't know if it's being put into practice, but it makes a lot of sense, is if we're currently getting beef from nations that are under BRICS and also not entirely friendly to America, if we remove that money and then bring it to a country that's friendly to America, as in Argentina, then that makes sense. And if that's happening, hey, look, I'm all for not funding the enemy.
Yeah, but the question is are we strangling ourselves? Are we strangling our own producers of this essentially a commodity when it comes down to beef? Are we strangling our own production capabilities? And I think we are.
Oh, I agree. I would, as we're trying to reduce the stranglehold, if we can move the money from our enemies to non-enemies and then continue to reduce the stranglehold as we ease, I think that there's like a Newton's cradle type of situation that can kind of happen there in moving energy from people that hate us. But that was kind of the major thing that I was like, this kind of makes sense. Again, I don't think that the government has any capability of that foresight, because there's too many, there's too many cooks in the kitchen. There's too many fingers in the pie, and it's great in theory.
That's right.
But kind of what you alluded to earlier in today's show. Once you start putting something into theory, and then you start making moves, and things start happening, those plans start falling apart really quickly. What I do want to say, in regards to the EBT thing, there are a lot of people in this country that I think should be mandated to be homeless for at least 30 days.
Interesting.
And I think it's a hot take. And I think, number one, it would do a lot of good for, people health-wise. People would probably lose a lot of weight. And number two, it would probably teach people that, that not everybody has a handout. Sometimes you got to dig through the garbage to figure out where you're going to get your next meal.
That is a truly hot take. It's I don't disagree with it. It's a tough love position, right? And I think early on you told me you've had some some difficult times in your life. I've had them as well. I've had no dollars in my bank. I've had negative dollars in my bank where if I cashed a check, I would lose money. I would get nothing and I would still have less than $0. And yeah, going for a week without a bite to eat, it's not fun. But it definitely changes your perspective on putting money away, being fiscally responsible, making some decisions that maybe it's like, well, I don't want to live in that place, but I'm going to go live in that place because it's a place to live. And there's a salary there. There's a paycheck in it. So I'm going to go do it. It definitely brings out a certain amount of humility. I think that's what you're kind of alluding to there as well. Is that about right?
A little bit. But I think it also encapsulates the sacrifice that should be made for those around you.
Mm-hmm.
That, especially for parents. I had a very interesting conversation today. I won't get into the details, but essentially I walked away thinking, wow, that was really a way to say that you're not willing to sacrifice of yourself to better the people around you. And I felt physically disgusted. And I don't think that that's uncommon
Mm-hmm.
in today's society. And it not only saddens me, but it also emboldens me in many ways to just continue to hopefully present a self-sacrificing mentality and continue to enact on it.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. There's some conversations you definitely walk away feeling like, oh, this person really, we don't share values, and I don't think they're. My buddy Aaron likes to say, NGMI, not going to make it.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's going to be them or their kids, but they're clearly there are certain mentalities that when you walk away, you're not optimistic for the person that you just spoke to, and it doesn't make you feel great about the world that you're living into if they're out there walking in it. So I know what you're talking about. I'll give you final thoughts here, and then we'll open the line back up to the next round. Fire away.
Final thoughts. Dan Bongino's still out by November. I'm not changing my mind there. Okay. Maybe between November and December. I think. Actually, you know what? I won't say final thoughts, but final question. Have we watched The Gentleman yet? And I won't make this my final question until you do.
Okay, that's fair. I have not watched it yet, but I'll put it on my list. The scene was good, so I don't know. I'll have to go find it. My wife and I are working through 2 different shows right now, so when they're done, I'll put a movie on there. Movies are only like once a week for us, so I'll put it in my hopper.
This is all right. That is fantastic. I highly recommend. If you haven't seen it, I will shout it from the rooftops. The Gentleman. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal.
It looks fun.
It is the masculine of masculine in the last 10 years that Hollywood has produced, outside of maybe Top Gun 2.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I'll take the recommendation. The clip I saw, the 1 minute, was enticing enough. I like those actors in general, so I'll take a look. It'll be on my list.
All right. Well, chat, Kyle, you guys have a wonderful night.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate the call.
Talk to you later.
All right. There we go. That's going to open up the line. I think we are up to number 4, something like that. I just missed the last call coming in, so dial it back up again. We'll get you on the line here. Bring you on board. There it is. Nice and quick. Somebody else sniped the shot. I think we're at caller number 4. Is that 4? Hold on. 1, 2, 4. Caller number 4. Who are you and where are you? Maybe. Nobody. Okay. You could be caller number 4. Who are you and where are you?
This is Todd from Pennsylvania.
There he is. Hey, Todd. How we doing?
Oh, doing great.
Outstanding.
Doing great. So first off, let me start off with a public service announcement for Tac Penis. Do not believe the old wise tale that a snapping turtle doesn't bite when it's upside down.
Good news.
Yeah.
Good value.
Yeah,
there.
we learned that in a bar one night. Someone brought a snapping turtle. Someone brought a snapping turtle into the bar, and one guy said, "Oh, if you turn them upside down, they won't bite." And we didn't believe him, so he said, "You watch. You turn them upside down, now kiss the turtle."
Ooh.
Well, needless to say, the guy lost part of his nose.
Yeah. I was
So-
assuming it was going to be a lip, but all right. That's a hard learned lesson, I suppose.
Yeah, it is.
That's a drag.
Yeah. But beer was involved, so what do you expect, right?
It frequently is, I think, Todd. That's the way it goes. What else you got on your mind?
Well, I had a great weekend. I was in North Carolina for my youngest daughter's wedding.
Standing, congrats.
And yeah, thank you. So out of the 4 girls, 2 of them are married now, so 1 more to go, but she says she's never getting married.
Okay.
But yeah, so while I was down there, I got to talk to a few liberals, and that was kind of fun.
It is fun.
It really, yeah. I didn't even prompt the conversation. I'm standing there minding my own business, drinking my bottled water, and guy walks up to me and says, "Man, this government thing's really messed up." And I kind of looked at him and I said, "You're right." I said, "I always said, if government is never a solution to our problems, we ought to start privatizing things." And he's like, "Oh." He's like, "Well, I don't know." He said, "These privatized prisons are really bad." And I said, "Yeah, you're right. And I don't know how those prison wardens get those juries to convict all those criminals." And he kind of stuttered and looked at me like I was crazy. He said, "Well, maybe not the prisons." He said, "But this whole healthcare system's messed up." I said, "You're right, it is." I said, "We ought to go back to where insurances and charities covered everything for everybody. It was much cheaper back then." And he looks at me kind of funny and conscious and says, "Well, I got to go." "Okay, thank you very much." And he went on his merry way. So,
good for you. That sounds fun.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, I just thought I'd have to share that with you about messing around with the liberals in North Carolina.
And you know what? You didn't have to hurt his feelings. Maybe you opened his mind up. At least you exposed some of the thoughts to him that not everybody thinks the way you do, and you didn't do it in a mean way, it sounds like. So nothing wrong with that.
Oh, no, because I'm smiling the whole time I'm saying this stuff to him, too, And my grandson's standing next to me. He's 15. And the guy walks away and he says, "Wow, you quieted him right down, didn't you?" I'm like, "Yeah, well, just got to do what you got to do."
Yeah, and you just say some things that seem true and are hard to argue with. Or he decided that he wasn't going to change your mind and why, mess up a nice day, and that's okay too.
Exactly.
Both of those positions are acceptable.
Exactly.
I mean, he probably didn't change his mind at the end of the day from what you said, and maybe he went off and MF'd you in the corner, but he didn't take anybody down for the day. So that's okay too.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it was after the wedding, but before the dinner. So,
Yeah, sure.
Didn't spoil the meals or anything.
How is your new son-in-law?
He is awesome. They dated for 5 years before they got married.
Okay.
And I kind of knew he was the right one because I think the year that they had the big mega snowstorm along the East Coast that shut down 95, I don't forget what year that was. They were coming home from Pennsylvania, going back to North Carolina when they got snowed in on 95. And they opted to just stay on the interstate in the car for 19 hours.
Okay.
So I said, well, if he can stay in a car with her for 19 hours and put up with her, as of course, I've raised my daughters to have go bags and food and everything like that. And they said at one point the National Guard came by to see if they were okay. And he's like, "No, we're fine. We got the food. We're okay." But I figured if he could stay in the car with her for 19 hours in a blizzard, that he was probably the right one for her.
That's an interesting future marriage test. I had not thought of that as being it's not a terrible one for sure.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, kind of a questionable condition, right? So a little bit of stress, a little bit of external pressure, and close quarters.
Exactly.
Like very good. Okay.
And then my other son-in-law was the officiant for the service. So.
Oh, outstanding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Family affair.
It was a family affair. I think, there was 40 guests total there, and between the bride and groom's family, we took up 20. So it was like 20 family members and 20 friends of theirs. That was it.
That's perfect. What do they do? Do they have cake, or do they do something non-traditional for a dessert?
They did a tower of cupcakes.
Yeah, I like non-traditional finger stuff for some. My wife and I did. I think we did a mixture of non-chocolate dipped and chocolate dipped Rice Krispie squares that were towered up. I think that's what we did. If we didn't, that's what I remember. So I hope that's what we did. She'll tell me later tonight. But I think that's what we did. I don't remember my wedding.
You'll hear about it after. You'll hear about it afterwards. Yeah.
Somebody who was at my wedding should tell me what happened. It was a freaking blur, man.
Kind of a blur.
Yeah. Absolute blur. Absolutely a blur. Pretty funny.
I think that's why wedding photographers are so popular, because that way the grooms can say, "Oh yeah, I do remember that now."
My wedding photographer was weird. He was a big fat guy. He was about 6'6", and I think he weighed like 325 pounds. So he had a big belly, but he was a really big guy too. And he had this goofy like 357 revolver on his hip the whole time, which I thought was super strange. He also owned the venue that we rented. And he did okay, but not great. He was not a great photographer. I am a better photographer. I would have done a better job at my own wedding, but oh well. I think he gave me 1,100 pictures on the CD. He was like, "Here, all the pictures," and about 20 of them were decent, that were worth printing. It's really kind of goofy. We're like, this is shitty, and it's out of focus, and the color is bad. This guy's not very good at that job. At the end of the day, it don't matter, does it? At the end of the day, as long as everybody says I do, and you get to go and start a life together.
Yeah, exactly. Well, talked about the non-traditional stuff. They also did this time capsule thing.
Okay, what is that? Tell us.
So my daughter's also she loves going to antique shops and buying old things, and so she had this antique suitcase. It was like an overnight size suitcase.
Okay.
And during the ceremony, they brought the suitcase up, and they put in a bottle of wine, and they put in when they took their first cruise, they had the tickets from their first cruise, and they put that in there, and they put a bunch of other stuff in there, and then they had a Polaroid, and they took a picture of the wedding with the Polaroid, and they put it in the suitcase, and now they're going to seal it, and they're not going to open it up for 5 years.
Okay.
So I'd never heard of anything like that, but I thought it was pretty cool and a pretty cool thing to see.
It's not a terrible I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that would. I'm the worst with that kind of thing, because I'm utterly unamused by the past one. like I don't remember my wedding, and I've never looked at any pictures from it either. Not since then. Maybe we have one or two on a mantle somewhere, but
my problem was if I would have done that, if I had done that at my wedding, I probably would have forgot about it, and
yeah.
They probably find when I died and they're cleaning up around the house or something. What's Grandpa have this for?
That is exactly it. So my wife and I missed, I think, our first 8 or 9 wedding anniversaries. We were just running a gun in our lives. So yeah, we would have also missed the 5-year mark on the time capsule too. 100% we would have missed that. So
yeah. But yeah, of course now you got the little alerts you can put on your phone, so they can just set an alert, and 5 years from now their phone will ding and they'll.
Oh, that's terrible.
They'll know what it's for.
Yeah, that's awful. All right, so Todd, hilariously enough, our chat moderator Rick, who is over on our YouTube side and he keeps track of it, he said that his brother had the same guy do the photographs at his wedding from my description. It's a real specific description. And he was like, I was like, was it at the Wildflower Barn? He's like, out by Wimberley. I'm like, oh my God. That's where poor people in Texas
amazing.
go to get married, in the Austin area, I guess. Big heavy set dude with a freaking revolver on his waistband. Oh, it's so funny. Well, that was good. I'm glad.
Crazy.
Thanks for bringing that memory back to me. What are you gonna do with
anytime.
What are you gonna do for the last one? Is she gonna? What's her beef with marriage?
She's dated some guys that have been totally wrong.
Yeah.
Totally wrong for her. And she has one of my grandchildren now.
Mm-hmm.
So she's kind of content being a mom, and pretty strong-headed to think she can just be a mom and she'll be happy with that. So I told her never say never. There's still a chance. So
that's right. Never say never. I was driving through looking for the riots the other night on the No Kings rally deal. I drove down through 6th Street and 5th Street and 4th Street and 1st and Cesar Chavez and all that. And you don't know that, but those are all the streets in Austin that are near where the riot would have been. So I'm
I've been to Austin.
Okay.
I've been to Austin. I know what you're talking
So
about.
I'm driving through all these stupid streets, and there's all these people out partying in all these bars, and I saw a woman who was, let's be conservative, she was about 28 inches wide at the back. And then there was this dude that was walking with her who was about 14 inches wide. Holding onto her butt cheek. He was walking next to her holding his butt. So I text my buddies, the Suspendables, and I reached out to Garrett and Steve and Phil, and I go, guys, I just saw the most Austin thing you've ever seen. I saw a pretty wide, heavy-set gal, and I saw a super skinny dude, and he was holding onto her butt while he was walking across the street with her. And Steve said, my grandma always said that there is a lid for every pot. And I said, that may be so. So that may be so for your daughter. There's a lid for every pot, but that doesn't mean that there's a pot for every lid. So some guys are out of luck, I think.
Yeah.
And I said that looking at like 8 guys that were sitting there on the side of the street that were just smoking weed and doing nothing. So there may be a lid for every pot, but not a pot for every lid.
Yeah, that's for sure. But I'm probably up. So great show today, by the way. I love the presentation you did today. It was awesome.
Thanks so much.
It really was.
I appreciate that.
And
appreciate it.
I didn't get it last week, but I think, if I remember right, Bongino's birthday was December, so he probably wants to be home for his birthday.
Outstanding. Okay, so Thanksgiving is your vote?
That's my vote, yep.
I love it. All right, bud. Well, great call. Very positive. Thanks for the uplifting thing. Took me out of the nerdiness, back to the family thing. I appreciate that every time.
Well, yeah, no problem. You know, I am the EMS and 911 nerd, but I thought, you know what, I'll avoid nerd stuff.
Yeah, sometimes we talk about the uplifting stuff. There's enough darkness in the world. We've seen it too, so good deal.
Yes.
All right, my man.
All right, well, God bless you. Have a good night.
Yeah, God bless you. Have a good night too. All right. That's Todd in PA. We're going to drop off the line here. Opens it up. Somebody was hot to trot and dialing and dialing. We'll take a couple more calls tonight. Guys, I had such a really rough night last night. My wife is not feeling well, so she's been hacking up with this cough. We got caller number 5. I'm going to finish my thought real quick here, and then we'll bring you on. I had a wife coughing from 11:30 until about 1:30 last night, and then at 2:00 when I was about to fall asleep, my son decided to get up and do an expedition at 2 a.m. with a wooden sword in his hand that he was banging into the door because he couldn't figure out where he was. So it was a long freaking night. And I was up again at 4. I can't believe I pulled the show off. All right. Caller number 5. I think you're caller number 5. Who are you and where are you?
Hi, Kyle. It's Jan from Indiana.
Hello, Jan. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I've just had a really stressful and interesting and funny week, though.
Lay it on me. I want to hear about it.
I told Rose I was going to try to call in and talk about it tonight.
All right, let's do it.
I have a mobile home, and it's an old mobile home. And so it came to a situation where I basically had to have my plumbing replaced in my home. I got a new water heater and, the whole thing that goes along with that.
Okay.
And so part of the process was, of course, it was going to be more than a one-day job, so I needed to get a motel room so that I, would have a place to go to the bathroom because this old bladder can't speak. I've got to have a bathroom close. So anyway, I have a cat. Don't make fun of my cat now.
Okay.
I have a cat, and so I didn't want her to be, because cats are afraid. This is her domain. This is her world.
Yeah.
And so I didn't want her to possibly try and be afraid and run out if the plumbers were walking in and out or something like that. So my cousin, who lives in the same mobile home community I do, but lives across the road in the other, and because it's separated by a 4-lane road. It's not a highway.
Okay.
So she came over and got my cat. And, of course, Mavis, the minute I put her in the cat carrier, holy mackerel. She really, we knew she wasn't happy.
Mm-hmm.
But so she took her home. And I was around for the afternoon for the plumbers, any questions. And I went to the motel. And it was okay, but, it's not home. So I come back Tuesday morning and in anticipation that, I'll be here part of the day. And I can still go to the motel if I need to for a second time. And so they're finishing up, they're starting to finish up. Really nice. I mean, this was the best. God bless me with such a wonderful plumbing company. They kind of went above and beyond with a few things they did, but just because it was me, I guess. I don't know.
Awesome.
Anyway, about, I don't know, it was about 11 o'clock in the morning. I was here. My phone rings, and it's my cousin. And I answered the phone. I said, hi, and she is bawling her eyes out. And I said, what's wrong? What's wrong? She said, Jan, I've lost your cat. I can't find her. I think she got out when I opened up the door. And she is hysterical. And of course, I love my cat, and I would be, you know, but she was just, I mean, and she was truly sorrowful because I trusted her with the cat and, you know, all the things that you would think of when something like that happens. She said, so in between the sobs, and of course, then I'm starting to get teary-eyed because she's crying, and I'm thinking, oh no, Mavis, where did you go? So she's telling me how she turned her house upside down.
Mm-hmm.
She turned her recliners upside down because Mavis was hiding under the recliner. She'd get under the bed. She'd barely come out. And, you know, she was just terrified.
Yeah.
Even though she knew my cousin. So we go through this. And then I go over to her place, and I'm, you know, calling out, just thinking maybe she's run under a bush or, you know, who knows what you think. And so, and then it's like I told her, I said, well, you know, she's one of God's creatures, and God cares about all of the creatures that he made, and he made cats for companions for people like me. And so we'll either find her or we won't, but it's in God's hands, and that's what it is. And quit feeling guilty, because I don't blame you, because cats are stealthy. You know, they're stealthy. That's just part of their instinct, you know. Right. When they're afraid, they do weird stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking, oh, gee. You know, and so I'm, you know, sad and all that. So anyway, I end up going to the motel on Tuesday night as well, even though the plumbing was done. I already paid for the room. I thought, okay, I'll get free breakfast in the morning. We're good. So I do all that. Then I come home, I don't know, about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and my phone rings. That's my cousin. She has done a flyer. She went to the office at the mobile home park.
Mm-hmm.
She has just done everything she could think of to find poor Mavis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She has answered the phone, and she's laughing. I said, she's in the house, isn't she? She said, I found her tucked behind, tucked under this little cart that I have in my bedroom. But because she's black and white tuxedo cat, when she curls up, you can't see her.
Yeah.
But she says, she's in the house. And here's how she found out she was in the house. And then when she finally found her, she went to take care of the litter box. Just getting it ready to get rid of it and stuff like that.
Yep.
And she realized there was a cat turd in the litter box.
Yeah. there was proof of life.
I said, oh no, Mavis was betrayed by a turd.
I love it.
So she's in the house. She finally got her out. But she wanted to stay another day. Just to get more used to her in case she ever has to take care of her.
That's not a bad idea.
I know, so she brought her home today. And I mean, and it was I laugh now, but it was hysterical. I thought, you little fart, you found a place where nobody would find you in the house.
And then you got betrayed by your instinct.
Yeah, I said, and she said, I couldn't believe that the opening was so small. I can't believe she thought she could get under there. I said, I never would have looked under there. Who could get under there?
Yeah, this is why I don't like cats. They're sneaky. They're stealthy. I respect cats for the biological machine that they are, but I don't care for them. They do things that I don't want them to do. They sneak through fences that they ought not to be able to fit through. And I don't.
That's why my cat is a house cat. She never goes out.
I don't care if they stay in people's houses. To be fair,
I don't want anybody like you taking a paw shot at her.
I definitely think about it. I think about it a lot. And cats know that I think that when I see them. When cats look at me,
Oh, yes.
they're like, that guy's about to draw down and smoke me. And they run.
Yeah,
I'll look at them.
They know enemies. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I'm their enemy, and they know it.
The whole thing was funny.
That's very funny.
So finally got through the stress of the plumbing thing. And I had a lot of people, I asked for prayer because, a lot of things can go bad when you're doing plumbing on an old place like mine.
Yeah.
But everything just went smoothly. Everything's up and running. I have good water pressure. It's going to change my life just to have working plumbing again.
That is.
And I didn't lose my cat.
That's a huge blessing. I had a moment. I had a moment that was a little bit like that. We had multiple failures happen at the same time. My water heater died, and our HVAC system died when I was in Virginia, like in the same in a day and a half. So we went to having no hot water and no heat. And it was winter, so, it gets into the 20s there. It's not brutal, but it's not warm. And so I had to have, and then we were getting new hardwood floors were scheduled. And so I just told my wife, I'm like, get in the car, take the baby. This was when we had one, I think. I was like, just get out of here. Just go up to your mom's house for something. I'll just hang out in this house and freeze my butt off. And I woke up and it was in the 30s in my bedroom. And and these crazy, I don't know what kind of crazy shit guy you got to be, but the workers that were working on my house, I must have given them a key to come in when I wasn't there, but they showed up earlier than I woke up. And so I woke up to strange men that were like carrying stuff into my house while I'm in my boxers in 30-degree weather with like a pistol pointed down the hallway going like, what in the world is going on here? It was one of the weirder experiences, but that also turned out pretty well. So I don't know. I think God looks out for us when we're in really bad spaces, more than we can handle.
Yeah, I just, when I come home Tuesday night and Mavis usually meets me at the door, and, she's like a dog. She follows me around like a dog and comes when she's called. I mean, it's really kind of she's kind of an odd personality for a cat.
Mm-hmm.
She's not so standoffish as a lot of cats are.
That's what everybody says.
I was like, I missed her. So when we found out she wasn't lost, it was pretty fun.
I'm glad you didn't lose a cat.
She got out of her carrier and she wandered around, sniffed around, and meowed at me a few times, and then came up and laid right beside me.
Outstanding.
And started playing, oh, I'm home. Oh my God, I'm home.
Now, do you have really good water pressure now that you've had everything replumbed?
It's much better. In mobile homes, we are on city water, so it's not like we have, super duper, but it is 1,000% better.
I love it.
I'm happy.
Outstanding.
And I had a guy fix on my insulation under my trailer. And everything is good. Got to still put heat tape on, and that's ordered. He's going to come back and do that. It's just the whole thing's been a blessing, and all the stress I was under is just I could finally take a breath of relief, and I don't have to mourn my cat in the meantime. So it's all good.
I love that feeling. I love that for you. That's a great feeling when a few of your burdens have been lifted for a little while. More will come inevitably, right?
Stupid stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a sad thing to waste your anxieties on.
And I just wanted to tell you, I knew you'd get a kick out of the funny cat story, so I had to tell it.
My cat hatred is quieted for a few minutes right now, although people are trying to peek it over in the chat. You started a firestorm of cat people.
That's right. Well, you like me as a chat person. I'm one of your followers, so I figure you'll give me maybe 1% grace on loving a cat.
I'm not mad at anybody for having cats. I just don't like them in my yard or near me. So, and I also just have an open offer. The open offer is if you don't like your cat, I'm more than happy to help you not like your cat anymore. I'll do that with you. That's what I'm saying. I just offer the feline elimination service. I don't need anyone to take me up on it, but it's an available thing. It's just an option. That's all. We'll put it's Seraphine's feline elimination service. We put the ow in meow.
It's only you, Kyle. I would only laugh at you for that. Only you.
Jan, thank you for calling in tonight. I hope you have a lovely night. I hope you get to enjoy a lovely shower pressure as well. That sounds great.
I will. Thanks a lot. God bless.
All right. God bless you too. All right. Jan, trying to turn my heart towards cats. Doesn't work. All you're going to do is turn the rifle on the cat. Full disclosure, people asked, hey, is your cat still alive or your neighbor's cat? For now, for now. But I will admit that I may have been laying in the darkness in the prone position with a suppressed high volume 22 suppressor and subsonic rounds and a cat in the crosshairs. I may or may not have considered whether or not I could get away with a one-shot takedown on a neighbor cat. And I opted not so far, but I cannot confirm that will stay. Caller number, I think we're on to number 6. Number 6, who are you and where are you?
It is Tracy
Hi,
from
Tracy.
Iowa.
You sound just like Tack
How
Penis.
are you? I know.
Did you like that?
I loved that. That was awesome. Hey, I was glad to hear Garrett's back to work. You said it was kind of shady, so I'm hopeful you'll be able to tell us why in the future.
Yeah, I'll tell you guys why. I'll tell you why in a minute. I think he's sitting in the chat right now.
Excellent.
He tried to claim that he could go places that cats can go, but that fat fucker cannot fit where
I don't
cats can
think
go.
so.
No, he's a big dude.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I mean that in all loving.
So I
in
have
all
a
loving
great
respect.
story for you tonight.
All right, fire away.
All right. Do you remember the movie Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Do I remember? Get your ass to
Probably in the
Mars.
80s.
Get your ass to Mars. That one?
And remember the big alligator at the end of the movie?
Oh, I don't remember that. So that movie is real hazy for me because it was never my favorite Arnold movie. I remember a bunch of parts of it, but I don't remember that. What the hell was the alligator?
There was that was Albert.
It had a
Albert
name?
the alligator was
Okay.
yeah. Albert the alligator was a massive alligator that was
Okay.
in this movie. He was owned by my friend's dad.
What?
Albert lived in a lake in Oklahoma.
Okay.
And sadly, my friend's dad passed away in an accident. And so she had to go out to Oklahoma to deal with his property
Okay.
and the alligator. Now, apparently, the alligator was like a dog. Like her dad would only have to like whistle for it. And it would come up out of the lake and go hang out with her dad.
Was the dad named Tony?
It was like an 8-foot alligator. Oh gosh, I don't even know what her dad's name was. Might have been. But so Albert was owned by this guy and he passed away.
Okay.
And so my friend went out to go deal with his property and he had a lot of exotic animals. So they were trying to figure out what to do with all the animals. They found this exotic animal farm somewhere or zoo, exotic animal zoo somewhere. And they called these people up and they're like, hey, we have all these exotic animals and we need to put them somewhere because we've got to sell the property, et cetera. So this group shows up in like just, an SUV kind of thing. And they were picking up the animals and they're like, okay, so where's the alligator? And my friend looked at him and she was like, you're going to need like a U-Haul to get this
Wait a minute.
alligator.
Was this in Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Was it the Arbuckle Wilderness Park?
It very well could be.
Because you remember the show The Tiger King?
Yes.
And-
That's where I was going with this.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So hear me out. The Tiger King what the hell was the Tiger King's place called? Do you remember? Tiger King.
I never watched the
Zoo.
show. My friend was watching the show
Ardmore.
and they were just like, wait a minute. That's
His place
who came to get Albert.
His place was called the Greater Wynnewood Exotic Animal Park, right?
That would probably be it.
Okay,
Yep.
but the other competing animal park was a place called the Arbuckle Wilderness Park. And I used to drive by both of them on my way when I was in Oklahoma City and driving south. And my buddy and I asked my buddy who was from Oklahoma and I was like, hey, did you ever go to the Arbuckle Wilderness Park? And he's like, no. And I go, why not? And he goes, I felt like it was like the more hillbilly, reckless, dangerous one of the two. And I was like, oh
Yep.
man, the Tiger King had like people have their arm bitten off. And he was like, yeah, I think the Arbuckle one might have been shadier. It was like lower rent. It was a lower rent version. There's some shady
Lower
shit in
red version,
Oklahoma.
Absolutely.
So these animals went to go
heck
live
yeah.
at one of these two things, either the Arbuckle Wilderness or the
Yep.
Wynnewood. What in the world?
Yep. They had the people had to come back the next day with a U-Haul and a front end loader so they could dig out the pond and get the alligator out and into the U-Haul. They had a nice enclosure for him, and he even had his own website for a little while, but he went into hibernation and I guess didn't wake up in the spring, so he probably died of a broken heart. So I wanted to tell Tack Penis that there is hope for that. Syrup really does love you, because this alligator, this 8-foot Albert the alligator, loved her dad so much that he probably died from a broken heart when his dad went away.
I'm trying to find the picture of the alligator from Total Recall.
Movie?
Mm-hmm. It was 1990, apparently, by the way. I thought it was in the 80s too.
Okay. I thought it was in the 80s, but
I'm going to be on a weird, like, mental run. He's probably credited. Albert the alligator is probably credited in the IMDb. So maybe I'll go there. I'm just remembering that I thought you were going to tell me something about Quato. You remember Quato?
I don't.
Quato was the weird brain baby that was built into the human tumor. That was like, Quato was like the leader of the mutants. But I don't remember what his purpose was either. Total Recall was a really weird movie.
It was a very weird movie.
So weird.
But yeah. So it shocked my friend when she was watching the Tiger King TV show, because she looked at her husband at the time and she was like, well, that's who got the alligator.
Yeah.
So they're brushed with famous people.
famous critter. I just put Quato on the screen for everybody.
Oh, I remember that.
That thing is
that was gross.
Super gross. And they didn't do CGI back then. So like somebody created that weird, there was a whole period of time when there was like all those weird critters being made that way.
Yes. Gross. Ew.
Yeah, super gross. All right, I'm gonna take that away. I'd like to look at myself instead of that. That was unsettling. I do say myself. That was pretty weird. Freaking Quato.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's a good name though.
Yeah, so you'll have to look up Albert the alligator.
All right, we'll be on the hunt. What else you got? What else you got for me tonight? What other thoughts have you had?
What else do I got for you? I've watched your shows this week, and excellent job every single day. I am so annoyed with the Pangino group that I'm just so disappointed. So disappointed in them.
Yeah, it's disappointing. So here's the story with Garrett. I think I can share this a little bit with folks. I won't give too much away, but he was asked to come in on last minute notice on a Friday when he didn't need to. And he came in and met up with the boss and had to go to a shoot or whatever. And then the senior executive from the office showed up there, totally not to just spy on him and check in on him. And seems like
of course not.
And we did some digging. Me and Steve went digging on this guy, and he just seems like a creep. So, and as usual, there's just the same people working the FBI that were there before. And I just have to call my friends and tell them that, like, I don't think that he's probably gay, but it's possible that he's gay since now he works for the FBI again, and we can't confirm that he's not. So it's opened up my ability to give him a hard time again. But every time I see something shitty that the FBI does, I'm just like, hey, man, this is what your boss said today. And he's like, yeah. Garrett's a pretty good stoic. So that's the good news about Garrett. He'll be able to handle things for a while. He's been handling a Job-like situation for quite a while. So I'm glad he's getting a paycheck, but
absolutely.
These clowns haven't
I really hope they don't make him move again.
No, I think he needs to move. That's the right answer. I don't think he wants to be where he is. And they're going to pay for a move. So that ain't nothing.
Oh, well, that's true.
It'll be an undisclosed location. And maybe we'll get the gang together out in a cool place where we all want to live. That might be fun. That's the hope. That's my hope.
Be fun.
My hope is I can live next to people that I like, and then we can bring him back, and I can tell him to quit his stupid job.
Yep.
That's the hope.
Anyway, wanted to also recommend a movie to you, but it's not like an entertaining movie at all. It'll scare the crap out of you. It's called An Inconvenient Study. It's available free on on YouTube. You're on YouTube. So it's available for free on YouTube. I hope everybody watches it.
Is this
It
Del
will
Bigtree?
scare the living crap out of everybody. Yep.
All right. So I just talked to my friend Tracy Beans tonight.
Yes.
And it sounds like they're going to try to get Del
she's
on Tim Pool's show, but I'm sure he'll come and do
Oh, cool.
our program. Should we have him come on and talk about it?
Absolutely.
Okay. That's easy.
Absolutely.
I'll ask
Get
her
him there.
to book it on, and we'll do a Sunday version for that, or maybe we'll do a weekly one if he wants to come do it on live. And yeah, maybe we'll take calls too
Cool.
if people want to do that. That could be kind of fun too. If there's a couple people that might want to call in.
That would be so perfect.
All right.
Get an address and I'll send them my book.
Yeah, Wilco. I'll do all that stuff. That should be easy. Yeah,
Excellent.
we literally just
Awesome.
had that conversation while I was wolfing down some dinner before I sat down to do this call-in show. So
Okay.
I expect that's
Excellent.
doable. And I was kind of
Yep.
kicking. I was on the
Everybody
fence.
watch it.
I was on the fence about whether or not I should
Yes.
ask about it, or if, I never want to inconvenience people. I don't think I'm big enough to bother people to have them on my show, but I think we are. I think you are.
I think you are.
I think we are.
I think you're huge.
I've seen where other people go and do shows that like nobody's listening to, and I go like, I have more people that listen to me than that, so maybe I can ask that.
Yes,
And
you do.
like even congressmen and attorney generals will pop in on garbage little shows that 50 people watch, and I go, I have more listeners than that. I could probably ask those people.
Absolutely.
I never do, but maybe we will. So, all right, An Inconvenient
Absolutely.
Study is the name of the
Yes.
the movie. Yeah, we'll check it out.
Of the movie. Check it out. Awesome. You have a great night.
Very good. Thank you, Tracy.
Be good.
I'll try.
Bye-bye.
I'll do my best. All right. I like fading down the laugh. That was pretty good. All right. We'll take, I think we'll take one more call. I think that's fair. Somebody wants to get in here on the line. Yeah, you guys are on the spot tonight. Let's open it up. Here we go. Everything is working the way it's supposed to. So tomorrow will be a disaster. Caller numbers 6 or 7. I don't know which one we're on. Who are you and where are you?
Seriously, I got through first try. How awesome.
It is
This
pretty
is
awesome.
P. Ed Weirdo.
How you doing, sir?
And I am calling from. I'm hanging in there, man. Things could be better, but what the hell? I'm 65. It's just one of those things.
It could
by
be
the way,
worse
I'm in-
too, right?
Exactly, man. I'm in East Texas, over here in between Marshall and Longville, out in the middle of the swamp, basically. So, oh man, I wanted to call in because I promised Dear Rose that I would when I got a paid subscription and got the number, and so I did that. And just give a shout out to everybody, the regulars, Renzo and Tac P, Mr. Penis, and just the whole gang. They've been with me through some tough times. I'm having a little bit of a tough time with my daughter right now, but God's got it. Whatever His plan is, I couldn't tell you. Haven't got a clue. But she was pregnant with twins, and she lost one of the twins a couple of days ago. And it's people don't know. I'm one of those people too that when somebody tells you, hey, we're having twins, you're like, woohoo, all right, double bubble, yahoo. And it's like you don't realize that if you're a twin and your mother carried you full term, you're a miracle more than a twin, because it's tough, man. So twins are a challenge. They really are. So, but anyway, like I said, God's got it. He's given my daughter great strength, great moral clarity, through this, and so it's going to be a strong finish for her. I'm hoping and praying.
Yeah, man. That's a real hard one.
Yeah. Well, I cried for a while.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I wanted to tell you about your interview with Marty Combs.
Okay.
It's like I'm watching this. I'm from Colorado.
Uh-huh.
I've been in Texas a little over a year, and he's sitting there. He's talking about the floods, and I'm like, oh, I know what that is, And it's like I'm trying to figure it out where it is in Colorado that he lives, and it's like, yeah, sure enough. And I've been on a quest. This is kind of tangential, but coincidentally, I've been on a quest to find a haircut. Honestly, where I live is like out in the woods, man, out in the sticks out here, and barbershops are few and far between. And all I need is just a haircut. Normally the wife would do that, but she just moved out to go to Nebraska to help out with my daughter because she's got two toddlers and she's pregnant with was pregnant with twins. And so she's out there right now. So I'm here all alone. I can't find a barber because she's been cutting my hair for years now. But, man, I went to 6 or 7 places, honest to God, to find a haircut. I finally just said, to hell with it, man. I stopped in at one of those BJ's breweries. I said, I'm going to have a beer. And I went in and had a beer, and I was talking to the bartendress, and I just happened to mention, and you happen to know somebody that's got that cuts hair. And she goes, yes, I got a good friend. He's got a barbershop. It's called The Barbershop.
Yeah.
And it was just, a couple miles down. Just a couple miles down the road. And I went down there and hit it up. And while I'm waiting, I can see in the reflection of the mirrors where the barber chairs are, these pictures on the wall that are behind me. Now, I'm not going to stand up in the middle of the barbershop and just start looking at the pictures because the other people are going to think I'm weird. And so, well, they should anyway.
Yeah.
But when I get into the barber chair, I look at them and it's like one of the pictures I totally recognize. And I asked the lady who was cutting my hair, I said, are those pictures from Colorado? And she goes, yes, they are, as a matter of fact. She goes, the former owner, a lady, sold that barbershop to this guy who owns it now. His name's Carlos, and Carlos got a good gig going on there. And just the basic stuff, man. You want a haircut? Good. You don't? Get out of here. I love that. To me, that just resonates with me, man. It's like, got one of the best haircuts I've ever had. But yeah, this lady moved to Golden up there, kind of not far from where Marty is, North Colorado, into the mountains, into the foothills.
Yeah.
But one thing that he said that resonated with me more than anything was that if you're on the Front Range, you're living in a blue city. From Denver, you're actually from Boulder all the way down to Colorado Springs. It's just a blue city. When I moved there in 1972, it was beautiful, man. It was like, 3 distinct towns, Castle Rock, Denver, and Colorado Springs, separated by seemingly endless miles of prairie, but now it's all connected, it's, I still miss it. I don't miss the politics.
Yeah.
But I want to say this about Texas. I want everybody to hear me. Best people in the world live in Texas.
There's some real nice people in Texas, aren't there?
There is, by solid people. I love that.
So I did a phone call. Let me share this goofy little story. I went to go get license plates for my truck. Okay. I bought my truck from my friend Joe. He has a car dealership in Colorado. He owns DCF Guns in Castle Rock and Denver and Colorado Springs, I think. So
I was a member of that. Okay,
so Joe owns that. Joe Altman, he's my buddy. And he owns a car dealership too. That basically is a car. It's like an online dealership, and they've got a physical little office somewhere. And it gave me access to go to the auction. So I found my own vehicle, and I did my own auto auction at the wholesaler, which I've never done before, but it was kind of fun, kind of scary too. A lot of money to be clicking on while there's a live auctioneer yelling in your ears. So I bought a very expensive truck. For me, I think it's really expensive. It's probably the most expensive thing I've ever bought outside of a house. And I go and I get the plates from Colorado, the temporary plates, and I'm driving around with those. And I go into the tax assessor's office here in Texas, and I sign up, and I got to write him a pretty hefty check. I think I wrote him a check for like $4,800, which was that stung.
Ooh,
that stung pretty good, right? So that's the tax title and the license. So they're supposed to send you the license part of the tax title license. That's going to be your little metal plates, and they didn't send them. And so I waited, and my temporary tags expired, and then that was it. And I got no tags, and I got no license plates. So I call up the license plate people, and they say, well, you got to talk to the custom plates because you have a military emblem on yours. I go, okay. So they send me through a couple different call zones, about 28 minutes worth of phone calls. I finally end up at this lady's thing. Her name is Caroline. She was very nice, but she was awfully left-leaning. And she tells me, well, we tried to make your plates, but there was a prison riot in Huntsville.
Oh, God.
And I said, what does that mean? And she was like, well, they just didn't make it. I go, well, what am I supposed to do? And she said, well, you have to go reorder them. I said, well, I'm not going to do that. I already did that. I had to spend six weeks waiting for an appointment. And then I went into the damn appointment, and I wrote you guys a big check. I did all my job. Because you guys have a prison riot, you don't know how to do logistics. That doesn't seem like a me problem. That sounds like a you problem. And she said, well, if you get pulled over, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to tell him Caroline told me there was a prison riot and they decided not to make my license plates. And then he can deal with it. And I'll go and tell the judge the same thing. And so she started laughing and she said, okay. So I did nothing. She's like, well, if you want plates, you got to go back into the office and reorder them. I said, I'm not going to do that. So I called her a couple weeks later and she said, did you get your license plate? And I said, no. And she said, well, you got to go back into the tax assessor's office and order them. And I said, I don't want to do that because I already did that. I already did the me part of it. This is now a you problem. Why don't you fix this? Why don't you tell somebody? Can you reorder them from there? No, you have to go in and do it yourself. I said, well, I'm not going to do that. And so she said, okay.
Man.
So I ignored it. Now listen to me.
Was this El Paso County?
No. This is down here in Williamson, so just north of Austin. So
okay.
I did that in March, and I made the phone call when the plates ran out in the beginning of May. And I called again in maybe June or July, and they still told me, we're not sending you any plates. Tough shit, basically. So I got a bug up my butt the other day while I was driving. It's in the middle of September and I'm driving home from church and we go to church and it's like a 25, 30-minute drive. So on the way home, I'm like, I'm just going to call up the tax assessor's office, or maybe we were going somewhere else. Maybe we stopped in for a weekday mass or something. I can't remember why, but we were out that way. So I pick up the phone. I call the Williamson County tax assessor's office and they go, well, you got to talk to the people in the license plates division. And I go, great. So they transfer me to the license plate division. Well, you got to talk to the custom plates division. So I talk to the custom plates division. They transfer me back. Now it's not Caroline. It's some other lady. She says, well, you got to talk to the tax assessor's office. I was like, listen, people, I've done this game. I've gone through your whole rigmarole. And this is not a Kyle problem. This is a state of Texas problem. This is a Williamson County problem. Someone needs to send me some license plates or not. I kind of think it's funny because I drive around with no license plates and, you know, I don't care. And the cops don't seem to care. It's a new looking truck. You know, I've got my name. It's got the Kyle Seraphin show on the back windshield, right? And I got
cool.
I got the Rumble logo and I got the X logo and the YouTube and I got the handle at Kyle Seraphin on there. So, you know, it's not like I'm hiding who I am. And so nobody's bothered me about it. So they go, okay, whatever. So anyway, I'm on the phone for about an hour of driving and I get home and they transfer me somebody else and I'm recording the phone calls now. So I got all these phone calls of people telling me to go back into the office. Finally, somebody said, well, let me just take a message and give it to my boss. I said, okay, do whatever you want. You know, I don't care. Like, I'm not coming into your office ever. I'm never going to do it now that I've decided. And son of a gun, maybe 10 days later, I get a phone call from some random lady who says, I should look at what her name was. She was really nice. She's like, I'm so-and-so from the tax assessor's office. I got a message from your number and, you know, we want to help you out. We want to fix your problem. And I go, okay. So I call her back and she said, what seems to be the issue? I said, well, the issue is that nobody sent me any license plates and I paid for them. And it was pretty darn expensive, to be honest with you. And I'm kind of frustrated that you guys decided to tell me I've got to come back because it's not a me problem. And she goes, oh, well, I'll just reorder them right now for you, hun. I go, are you kidding me? I've been doing this for 6 months. I just finally got the right nice lady. And so my license plates showed up the other day. They showed up on Saturday. And so now I got license plates. So I'm not driving dirty, but you know, nobody was mean to me.
What was it?
They are kind of a special breed.
Charles Dickens wrote a story about that. About somebody's Mr. Peterson and Mr. somebody's conundrum, where it's like, oh no, you've got to go over here to Office B, and then they send him to Office C, and then Office D, and it goes all the way around, and they send him all the way back to Office A again. It's like, what the hell?
That was my life. They just kept nobody. You know what it comes down to? Nobody wants to own a problem in government. And that is actually really rare for my Texas government experience. Usually when I call somebody in Texas government, they usually solve the problem because usually, as you said earlier on, there's some really, really nice people in the state of Texas and a lot of really nice people work for the state government. But
they do.
Not in the license plate division.
Super kind to me.
Not in the license plate division. But now I got my
registration. And it started off to be weird because my cars are all titled in Colorado, and they ask, well, do you want to retitle your cars here in Texas? And it's like, no, I better pass on that, And they go, well, do you want custom plates? I'm glad I didn't, because I was thinking about it. I just, no, just give me the plain Janers, man. I don't want to stand out,
That's right.
So no, it's been a really good experience here. Today I just had a tree cut down that was like 15 feet off my front porch that died like the week I got here last year. I mean, it was green 1 week, and then about 3 weeks later, it just turned brown. All the needles fell off, and ever since then, big old chunks of limbs have been falling. It's an 80-foot tree.
Jeez Louise.
So, I've been I've been, it's like I was worried about it, because where it's at, it can only fall one direction besides hitting all the power lines or to everybody on the block or my house. So this guy comes out and he goes, his guy's Beto was his name. I'm like, oh no, this can't be good. But Beto Cardenas, man, he nailed it. He says, you want me to take that tree down right now? I said, you do that right for me right now? He goes, sure. Sure enough, man. Took him 1 minute and 30 seconds. It was like, ta-da!
That's a pro.
I'll tell you what, man. It was. He's a good dude, good young man.
Yeah, I love it.
So, anyway, Kyle, I'll free up the line in case anybody else wants to give a call before you shut her down.
Should we take one more?
So, yeah.
All right, we'll take one more. What the hell? You convinced me. Well, it was good talking to you.
Talking to you, Kyle.
I'm sorry for the rough situation, and we'll pray for your daughter's success here as she comes into the home stretch. That's real tough. That's a real tough moment. So
thank you, man. Thank you, everybody on the chat too. Love you all.
Yeah, love it. All right, bud.
All right, buddy. Good night.
Good night, indeed. All right, we'll take one more call if you're amped up to jump on. We'll take one more of you. P. Ed Weirdo. Long time on our group here. I see what's coming in. I know what we're into. Let's call this caller number 8. It's the Ocho. Tell me who you are and where you are.
It's Renzo, and I'm from the People's Republic of New York.
I knew it. This guy. What's going on? Mr. Renzo?
What's going on? I rushed home. I forced my wife to rush home from my daughter's National Honor Society so that we could make the end of the show.
Something wrong with that.
Well, it's kind of those events are kind of boring.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there watching them say all these other kids' names over and over and okay, and then they get to my daughter and they take a picture and I'm like, oh, this is awesome! Yay, clap! And then it's more names, and then they call my daughter's name again, and I'm like, yeah, take a picture. It's like and I already did this with my other daughter, and last year, and then I got to do it with her again this year. So it's like, now it's not as exciting anymore.
You're like, I'm getting bored with my high performing children, so let's get out of here. Yeah. Do we have to keep celebrating your successes, kids? I got it. We already had one do this. Can we just get the award? Can we just pick it up after the event, maybe the next day?
Exactly. I mean, mostly what I do there is sit there and look at all the other parents and see what they're doing.
Do you judge them?
To my wife about, what this lady's doing.
Renzo, are you sitting there judging the other parents? Is that what's going on?
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah.
No shame in your game.
They're all doing it to me.
What are they judging? What do they look over you and think? What are they doing?
First of all, for years, a lot of my, I didn't pop. I don't do the oh, we're gonna go do this thing and sit there and talk to the parents. It just doesn't work for me because I don't really come off well, and I just know it's not gonna be. They're gonna be like, wow, that guy's yeah, exactly. But yes, I do live in the People's Republic. Well, you gotta remember that. So
have you considered? Now, listen. Maybe your wife can help you with this. Have you considered not picking boogers while you're talking to complete strangers? Have you thought about that, or you just keep going with it? You just fire away. You just said screw it.
I just say
you're like I'm here. I got an itch in my nose. I'm doing some nasal archaeology. I'm just gonna send it. Whatever.
Yeah, sometimes it makes them walk away faster.
That's not wrong. No, you know what? You reach back and scratch your ass and then try to shake their hand. You see how many people want to hang out with you. Right? It's that instant repellent to some people.
Oh yeah, it will work with me.
So Renzo, my mom used to babysit for this guy named Bob Peterson, who I believe is passed now. He would be ancient if he hadn't. Yeah, he's got to be gone. And Bob Peterson was like one of the most all-time characters of my childhood. And he had a yacht and he had like a paper company and he was a super nice guy and he was really funny. And he kind of had like a Bob Barker kind of personality, but like the Bob Barker from Happy Gilmore, you know, where he was kind of like, he was friendly, but like he didn't take any shit kind of thing. And he would always walk up and shake people's hands and he would always say the same thing, which would always make me go like, huh? When I was a little kid, he would shake my hand. He would go, shake the hand that shook the hand that wiped the ass of Abraham, my friend. And it made you go like, do I want to be shaking this hand right now or what's going on here?
Yeah, looking for that hand sanitizer.
Yeah, well, you know, this was in a pre-hand sanitizer world. That hadn't even been invented yet. This is like in the 80s.
Yeah, I know.
So
yeah, no. It's really weird too. Like hand sanitizer, I think like before COVID, I rarely remember even seeing it anywhere.
That's right.
Like, it was just starting, and then COVID happened, and it was like Perot was like, "We're gonna cash in."
Well, what you didn't realize, because you're a straight male, is that they actually were selling hand sanitizer, but it was at Bed Bath and Beyond, and it was like colored, and it had little weird exfoliating balls in it, which women know what I'm talking about, and it always had like a lot of like real tacky scents. It smelled like strippers, and it looked ridiculous, but they did sell it in other places. And
so
then,
you just called it. That's why it
went
was
mainstream.
Made.
Yeah, COVID made it go. Yeah, COVID made it go mainstream for sure.
Because everybody became a stripper then.
Everybody was a stripper after COVID.
Because of COVID.
Gnarly.
All right. On a more serious note.
Good.
So I know you've been bashing everybody's been bashing the beef. You know,
the beef.
Like so now I would just like put it this way. So, you know, like we're gonna give money to people, whether we want to give money to people or not. You know, because Congress likes to give money to people.
Right.
So I've I've accepted the fact that these people are not going to stop giving money to anybody. You know, they're just not going to stop giving our money away.
Right.
So if you're going to give our money away, I'd rather you give our money to the countries that are trying to fight the socialist, globalist communism.
Okay.
So I look at Argentina, and the reason that we have to actually do this for Argentina is because Milei is doing what we want Trump to do. But because he did what we want Trump to do, he's like, yeah, I'm going to lose elections. All these socialists are going to come back into power, and then we're going to go right back to what we were. And then what that leads to is now these socialists are back in power. Eventually, the socialists in our country get back into power, and the socialists in our country want to prop up the socialists down there, give them more of our money than what even Trump is giving them now, in order to maintain their socialist government. Because this is what I look at it as. Like, all of our foreign money, there is, unless you're going to elect 219 Thomas Masseys, that money's still going out. You know?
Well, I heard something like different than what
Thomas Masseys in Congress.
Yeah, that's right. I heard something different than what you said, though. What I heard you say is that it's just socialists all the way down.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're socialists.
All the way down.
Are we socialists?
All the way. Yeah.
Are we socialists? Do you think we're socialists, Kyle?
100%. A third of our people are on some sort of public assistance. 50% of kids are. 49% of kids are. Yeah, we're socialists as hell.
Yes. We paid for, and then that doesn't even count all the old people that are on Social Security.
Yeah.
That paid nothing into Social Security. I'll give you a prime example.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when I realized that Social Security was totally doomed to fail. So 25 years ago, whatever, maybe 30 years ago, I guess now.
Yeah.
My grandmother came from Korea to the United States.
Yeah.
You know, legally. She immigrated legally. She got a green card. And after she got her green card, because she was at that time probably about 65,
yeah.
You know what she got with it?
Social Security.
Exactly.
Did she pronounce it? Did she say it like this, like career? Did she say it that way?
No, she would say Korea.
Korea. Okay. There's this hilariously bizarre video. Did you ever see the Vice Guide to Travel? Did you ever see when Vice was doing like really wild stuff and they were sending people into all these crazy places?
Mm-hmm.
So the Vice Guide to Travel North Korea has this propaganda video that was filmed in like the late 1960s, early 1970s, something like that. And they've got, I can't think of the damn name of it. They captured it like a CIA spy vessel that was like a radio ship. And it's a big propaganda tour location now. And the guy who's voicing the English language propaganda video, he's like, the glorious people of North Korea, imperialist army of America, blah, blah, blah. He's like, every time he says Korea, and I cannot unhear it. I want people to say it that way now. I want everyone to say it career because it sounds fun.
Because the propagandists believe that that's what Americans think it sounds like.
Yeah. Is that what it is? I hope that's true.
Yes.
Yes. Good.
All the communist propaganda. So, like
the Pueblo. So, it's the like, freaking Pueblo, like man. It's the USS Pueblo. Do you remember that? 1968.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Everything is that.
Korea.
Everything now is that. Everything now is just straight propaganda.
Yeah.
Like even when people are trying to give you facts, they can't give it to you in an unbiased way because their mind has just been so programmed to be biased.
Yeah.
From all of the information. Like I find myself doing it. I'm trying to look at something completely objectively, and I'm like, I just can't do it. I don't understand what's the matter. Like think of this objectively. Like with the beef thing. Like my initial emotional reaction was, this is messed up. Why are we giving them money? What the hell?
Yeah.
And then I thought about it, and then I looked at it from the perspective of, well, should we give this money to Europe, or should we give this money to one of these other, like South Korea? I mean, even like South Korea is like completely like socialist now, and they're pretty much going to be communists like in like 5 years.
Good.
There's going to be reunification.
Good.
They all know what's going on because they got their puppet in there.
Yeah.
But see, you know, that's good in a way because they let themselves into it. But the process that got them to where they are is the same process that's happening here. And then if we don't stop the process in these other places, it's going to eventually consume us here, which it already is.
Yeah,
$37 trillion in debt.
I think it's too late. I think they already consumed us. So
I'm with you. I kind of think it's too late. I always tell everybody, I've been saying this for the last 20 years. I was like, 2040 is the last selection before they're not even going to play the game anymore.
They're just like, whatever, you
we're not
idiots.
Even going to pretend like we're
we're just gonna install our guy.
These elections are happening. We're just doing it this way now. You know?
Well, I'm going to be older then. I don't like that. I'll tell you what.
But what worries me is my kids and at that time are going to be in their 30s. You know, and you know, it sucks for them. I don't want that. My mom, you know, she's like, I live in a communist country. You know what? We can't have this here. I can't believe these people. How is New York electing the commie? I was like, that's why you moved out. You knew they were going to do this.
Yeah, because New Yorkers are.
Keep asking yourself why.
They don't make good decisions. They already live in New York, so you already know they make bad decisions. They chose to live in a place where everyone else is living on top of them. Freaking nuts. The only good news.
It wasn't like that 10 years ago. De Blasio did this to us.
That groundhog killing so-and-so. The only thing that makes me feel okay about it is that my 4-year-old climbed out of bed at 2 a.m. last night, and he grabbed a flashlight, a water bottle, and the wooden sword that I made him, which is a 28-inch long, kind of like Roman gladius looking thing. And he wasn't even awake. And he was trying to get out of his door, and he's like banging the wooden sword against the door, which was half closed, and he was stuck. He was stuck between the wall and the door jamb, and he's just banging on the door. And I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna wake up the whole house. I run up there. I didn't know what the hell was going on, and I like look at him, and there's this like half sleepy kid carrying his only weapon that he has and like a light source and his water bottle in the middle of the dark. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, man? It's 2 a.m. And he looks at me, he's like, oh no, Dad.
For the zombie apocalypse.
I'm like, what are we doing, man? Are we gonna go fight? Are we like, do we need to go do some killing right now? Why do you have your sword? It's freaking 2 a.m. And the upside was I put him back into bed, and he was like, make sure you put my sword where I can reach it. And I'm like, all right, dude. So I did, and then he went right back to sleep. As long as we keep raising warriors, it's going to be okay for some of us.
Yeah.
For some of us.
Enjoy these years. Those are the best years. It's all downhill after that.
I think it's going to continue to be interesting and weird. My kiddo's weird. He tells me weird stuff. Like today, he came up to me, and for 3 hours straight, every time he spoke to me, he was telling me about chewing gum and how he wanted some. And I'm like, dude, I know how focused you are. They're like, that is awfully myopic. Can we not talk about? He's like, Dad, there's some gum. It's up on the countertop, and Maddie put it up on the countertop, and so the gum is up on the countertop, but I didn't put it there. But I would like some gum, and I was like, you can't have any. And he's like, all right, but I really just want some gum, and there's some that's up on the countertop right now, and so maybe I could have the gum. I didn't put it up there, and I'm like, dude, I understand the entirety of the gum situation. No, you can't have any. Get out of here. And he's like, I don't want to bother you about any TV or gum, but there is some gum up on the counter. And do you think that you'd be interested in sharing that gum with me? I didn't make it. I'm like, bro, what are we doing here? Like, what's happening? Stop. Why are you doing this to me? You freaking crazy kid. You freaking go get your sword. Go attack something. Like start gallivanting around and marauding or something, man. What the hell? I'm not giving you any gum. And then later I come back and my wife's like, so I gave him some gum and he put it on his tablet. And I'm like, damn it. I'm like, what? Why would you do that? Why did you give him gum? I just told him no. He obsessed about it for like 3 hours. He was going to clearly make a bad decision. We got to let him reset.
I don't let him reset. It's true.
You got to give him till tomorrow. Oh, man. Yeah, my kid is going to be all right. As long as he's like got his sword and his flashlights and his water bottle, and he's got a medic pack too that he's packed up. He's created a box full of like bandages that he carries around everywhere. And he like wants to bring them into church in case somebody gets hurt. And I'm like, I don't think anyone's going to get hurt. And I'll tell you what, hon, buddy, if somebody gets hurt, it's because Dad has to put a round in him because they were trying to hurt the church. So like, we're not going to be able to help him. But he brings his box anyway.
Yeah, you're not going to want to help him.
So I don't know. Anyway, that has nothing to do with nothing. But so I'm just saying we might be okay.
I wish my kids were that old. So they grow up.
It is really funny. My 2-year-old is out of control, and I'm freaking out about that because when she gets older, I think that might be the end of me. She's 25 months old, and she speaks in paragraphs. She says crazy things that are like. Today she walked up to me. She was wearing a rosary. And I was like, hey, honey, how you doing? And she was like, this is God, and pointed to the cross. And I was like, whoa, what? She was like, this is where God is. And I was like, yep, that's pretty good. Wow, that's heavy. Yeah. Like, where'd you come up with that one, kiddo? And I asked my wife, I'm like, honey, did you teach her that? And she's like, nope, no, not at all. I'm like, that's freaking scary. Like, what kind of things are going on?
Look at the bright side of this. We're raising good Christians that understand and believe in the Lord Jesus Christ.
That's right.
So there's always going to be more of us.
That's right.
Because the leftoids don't have kids.
No, and I'm teaching my kids. I'm raising crusaders, man. It's crusaders and crusader brides. So I think that's the only way to do it. They're gonna be rolling heavy that way.
I'm 50. I'm 50-50, but
that's fair. That's fair. I'm still pretty optimistic, so it might be too early in it. All right, I'm gonna close it out. I got a song for you. You want to hang up and listen to it, or you want to listen to it on the line?
I'll hang up and listen to it. I got you on the screen.
It's
Thanks
almost
for taking my call, man. Have a
it's
good
almost
one.
Thanksgiving, so we
Great
just
show today too.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. This one's just for you. Here you go. This one goes out to people who are Ghostbusters fans.
Ghost.
Share my guy's show.
I don't know what that was, but I thought it was funny the other day. There you go. Hope you guys have a good night. We're right at the 2 hour mark, so we'll get cut off here on locals in a second. God bless all of you. You can't park there.
What? You can't park your car here, ma'am.
Are you blind? I don't think you can park there.
I know I can't park there.
Oh.
Hey, you can't park here.
Fuck you, motherfucker.
Excuse me, mate. You can't park there, sir.
I know I can't park there. Hey, watch out! If you're gonna blow, watch out!
Ma'am, you can't park your car here.
Are you serious?
You can't park that there, mate. Fuck off!
Excuse me, you can park here.
Yeah, you guys can't park here.
No shit, really?
You can't park there.
That's what I said.
Hey.
What's your name? What? What is your name? Tony. Fuck you, Tony. What's your name? Ezekiel. Fuck you, Ezekiel. Fuck you. Fuck you. Hey, you know what I did last night? You better not break my mother into this. You know what I did? You better not. I broke that fly over there. Oh. And I fucked your mother next to it. Fuck you, Ezekiel. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Thanks for listening to The Kyle Seraphin Show, streamed live weekdays on rumble.com/Kyle Seraphin. Follow Kyle on Twitter, Truth Social, and Instagram at Kyle Seraphin.